Joining me today to discuss industrial cybersecurity is Dimple Shah, who's the Senior Director of Global Technology and Data Policy at Honeywell. Welcome, Dimple.
Hi, Sid. How are you this morning?
Just fine, thank you. Cybersecurity is cited as one of the biggest challenges in industrial automation and the enterprise markets today. What are some of the most important challenges that you see that need to be addressed, particularly with manufacturers and industrial companies?
Yeah, we're really focused right now on cybersecurity threats with regard to OT, operational technology environments, and industrial control systems. There's been a lot of focus on this in the past 5 years, coming from lawmakers in Capitol Hill and the like, with regard to threats. They're very concerned about the threats in OT environments based on recent cyber attacks. And really what happens in OT environments is similar to an IT environment. You can have ransomware, malware, and you can have system failure. But the threats are worse because you can have all of that, but you can actually have operational loss, access to infrastructure can fail, and you can even have risk to safety and loss of life. So the threats are much greater, for example, in IT versus OT. And in IT, you can just download and update a lot of times. In OT, given the legacy systems and assets, there's a lot of challenges with assets that are 30, 40 years old, layering on additional devices and capabilities. It's not just as simple as an update. Additionally, one of the other things that we're seeing is a lot of workforce challenges. There's a lot of expertise in IT, but there's not as much expertise in OT. And as a result, we're seeing a lot of need for education and training and getting people up to speed on a lot of legacy systems and assets that are 30, 40 years old, along with the new technological advancements that have been layered on top.
Can you tell us about some of the latest findings you have on threats that manufacturers are facing today?
So every year for the past 6 years, Honeywell has released a remote access USB-related report identifying various threats. With regard to the legacy systems and assets that we use, and the content and the technology that has been introduced and layered upon. There's many people who have remote access to the facilities, into the spaces in order to secure them. But what this does is it actually creates a narrow down. And we've seen about 20% of vulnerabilities being exploited, really malware-based exploitation based on existing content scripts. And what they do is they take the existing content and scripts and essentially exploit them and create new vulnerabilities. And so this creates a large challenge with regard to cybersecurity in OT environments. And that's one of the things that we've seen with regard to malware. But there's also a lot of focus on ransomware. I think there's the Colonial Pipeline attack. That was a ransomware attack, and that was a lot of concerns. There's a lot of people in Washington, D.C., where I sit, on new policies or how we can better address cybersecurity threats in environments when most of on the big pin. So that's definitely one of the main things we're seeing with regard to threats and capabilities. And also, I guess I'll bring up Oldsmar, which he brings it up, but it's a relevant example because there was an external nefarious actor known near the process that increased the water, the lie in the water content. And, individual who was on-prem saw that the lie was running manually lowered it down, right? And so these are the types of threats we're seeing, and it's an operational threat, but it's the threat to public safety. Because imagine what would have happened if the water was poisoned, or we all saw just, the week or two of flurries with gas on the East Coast from Colonial Pipeline.
Oh, yeah, disastrous. Yeah. All right, well, now can you tell me about, I know Honeywell has some new cybersecurity solutions and services.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Really active in the past year on really exciting times coming from our Forge Cybersecurity Plus fleet. I think that last year we had a recent acquisition of Skate Events, and the systems access and controls and monitoring capabilities that the company had were phenomenal, and these really increased our offerings and our capabilities with two specific offerings. One is called Cyber Watch, and the other one is called Cyber Game Stud. So Cyber Watch basically allows us to have or provide our customers with, on line of sight viewing with regard to operations, controls, safety, and security. And it is real time. It provides knowledge to the folks on site with regard to coming threats. Cyber insights is is on-prem, and it is on location, and it's specifically fitted to that location to monitor real-time cybersecurity threats as they emerge.
Okay, now let me ask you about, particularly since you're in DC, about the compliance to new regulations that are coming out because of the events you just mentioned, the Oldsmars, the Colonial Pipeline. I think that stirred a lot of it up in the ransomware.
We're seeing an onslaught of regulations that will impact operational technology. I think we can start off with numerous regimes on cyber incident reporting, and there really is an onus and a focus on critical infrastructure owners and operators to essentially provide reports of cybersecurity threats within 72 hours to the U.S. government, and reporting requirements that exceed thereafter. But there's a lot of bifurcation within the U.S. government on cyber incident reporting and response. We've seen about 52 regulations in some way, shape, or form in the past 5 to 6 years. And, there's a real need just for harmonization across the USG and also mutual recognition. Say, if you're adhering to
yes. Right.
Those types of things need to be adhered to. NERC is probably the oldest incident response regime implemented in 2004. So we have a lot going on. You got cyber incident response. You have certification regimes, secure by default, secure by design. We have global certification regimes coming out of Europe. We have NIS2, the Cyber Resilience Act, where the EU is asking for individuals and entities as providers of critical infrastructure to basically, certified for the security of their OT and IoT assets, right? So there's a lot of activity in this space, and it's not going to stop because governments see the threats on the flip side. They see the activity in nefarious state actors, malified governments, organizations. They see that, but they don't have the capabilities to actually address them. All of our treaties and all these folks here have the know-how and the wherewithal to address them. And so, what we have really advanced is a public-private partnership. The government has information that we don't have. We have the capability to address those pieces of information, and we also see attacks on a daily basis, provide insights and watch. The ability to ameliorate, mitigate, and address concerns. And one of the things I am concerned about, though, is seeing a punitive approach of the U.S. government that does hamstring, public-private partnership and the ability to work together. The punitive approach is really concerning because, if you're going to go ahead and target a company that was a victim of attack, in what other criminal situation, for example, would you penalize? Right? Or if you did that's definitely not a good practice.
Right.
So there definitely needs to be a lot of work on these points and collaboration and coordination, but I've been also pushing for mutual recognition.
Well, Dimple, it's been a real pleasure talking to you today. Learned a lot. We've been speaking with Dimple Shah from Honeywell. Thank you for watching.